Hey everyone, so here is this week's tiara, and somebody had mentioned when I was making my last stone, my fake faux stones, that a black and silver tiara would be cool. And while this does not have the faux stone on it, I thought it would be a really cool fact to do black and silver. And so standard tiara, how it looks on. This one was a fun one to do with the stars, especially. You can see those moonstones in there. So there you go. And I will give you all the directions. Okay, so for this week's tiara, this is what I did. This one was a fun piece to do. I used a lot of spray paint. So it is a pretty simple design. What it is, if you can turn it around, is these three triangular pieces, not the black back silver ones, but these smaller ones inside are actually wired on. You can see the wiring right here on the spot. So those three are wired on, and then I spray painted them. And then I wired these pieces on the top. These were also silver, and they're wired on to the base, and then they're also wired to the black piece with some black wires so that you can't see them a little bit right there. And so then those 3 or 4, 5 pieces make up the base. And then what I did was I added these silver pieces here, and if you turn it around, these are also pendant pieces with the hole in the center, and so you can hang them, and they're wired on right here, and then they're glued at the bottom as well. And these actually are just glued on because I didn't want the wire showing through, and I will probably go through and wire them as well. So these are just glued and wired on to the back. And then this piece right here is also glued on to the front piece. So these were, the silver pieces were obviously glued on after I spray painted them. And then after I spray painted them, and it was just a cheap black spray paint from Home Depot, like their dollar spray paint. And then I sealed it as well. And then I added a little bit of Lumiere, the Jacquard Lumiere paint, just to give it a little bit of highlight around the edges. So that silver, you could have sanded them as well, but I just highlighted them with a little bit of silver. And then we added in these pieces, of course. And then I really love these moonstones, these star moonstones, and I've been waiting to use them. I also have a, what do you call it? Labradorite version of them as well, which would have been cool if I wasn't going with those white or the milky white crystals, but these labradorite would have been cool as well. And they're also just stars. So I added those on, and they are glued on there, but they could also be wired. They do have a hole. They're just general beads. And then all the crystals, there's of course the back, I had to cover these, and I added the crystals in the random places. And then I was trying to figure out what a good focal point for this would be, and I really just love this dark rainbow. I thought it went really well with the black, and so that's what I decided to use. And that is it. I could have added, I have some more of these smaller that are kind of similar to these. These are what these little filigrees. And I thought about adding them here and maybe adding a couple, but I don't have very many of these pieces. So, you know, we could have added one for more depth there, just wired it on. And I thought that would be nice. But like I said, I didn't have a lot. I also thought about maybe adding in something over the top, kind of like before I put on the star, is having something like that over the top and then having the crystal poke out. I think that looks really cool. And then this could just be bent a little bit to form the shape of what it needs to be. But I decided not to do that as well. I just like the star on the front. But there are many options with these, of course, and we could have added a bunch of different things, but I think the wire work is kind of hidden well with the black. You can't really see it down here very much. So there you go. See you next week.